Recording from Chester County, Pennsylvania, this is Coast to Coast Sports, your weekly breakdown of the Philadelphia Eagles, Los Angeles Rams, and NFL teams from around the league. We're recapping last week, previewing what's ahead, and bringing you all the takes in between. Welcome back to episode 2 of Coast to Coast Sports. Another sponsor, again, sponsored by Restorative Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation in Thorndale, Pennsylvania, one of the only private physical therapy practices in Chester County, providing one-on-one care with a licensed physical therapist. Call 484-378-7987 today to book an appointment. I'm Mike Carnuccio alongside Corey Pritchard and the Ryan Jonathan Moore. Sorry, bro.
Dude, I love that.
We will be recapping Eagles, Chiefs, Rams, Titans. Both of our teams getting the dubs. And then we will be getting into, we'll be going over how our predictions turned out. And then we'll be dissecting the outcomes of the games, defense, offense, special teams, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then we'll be looking ahead to this week's matchup between the Eagles and Rams in Philadelphia. Unfortunately, we could not get Corey to go to the game. He was too afraid of being physically harmed.
It's true.
And we will be breaking down key matchups from that game, whether it's positionally or unit by unit. We'll be looking at the lines and deciding whether we think the line makes a lot of sense for this game. And we will basically be sharing what worries us about the other team, and then giving our official predictions with scores for Eagles Rams at 1 p.m. in Philadelphia on Sunday. But we start off with our initial predictions from last week, and we're going to kick it off with Titans Rams, 33-19 final score. We start with Matthew Stafford, went 23 of 33 for 298 and 2 touchdowns with a pick. We had Puka Nacua with a 45-yard rushing touchdown. You don't see that very often. Davante Adams, though, led the team in receiving. Davante Adams ultimately with 6 receptions for 106 yards and a touchdown. He had that 1 touchdown reception late. I believe that was in the fourth quarter. Puka Nacua with 8 catches for 91. The interesting thing with Adams was they did target him 13 times, so he and Stafford are still trying to build up some of that chemistry, QB to wide receiver. Other side of the ball, the Rams sacked Cam Ward 5 times, held the Titans to a total of 252 yards and 19 points total. Corey was at the game, so Ryan, we're actually going to shoot to you first because Corey's going to have, the unique take in person. Initial takeaway, Rams Titans. I mean, first you can gloat about, your correct prediction.
Yeah, so I take full credit as the winner this week, even though I know we're not keeping score. I think I need to go back. I think I called almost the exact score of Rams Titans. Mike, I think you were on the fence if you were trying to present that the Titans would keep it close, which they did.
I thought their defense. I was dead wrong. I thought their defense would actually do something.
Yeah. So I watched this game on Red Zone, so I didn't watch every play, but I think the main takeaway is exactly kind of what we thought going in. I thought Cam Ward is honestly a 10 out of 10 rookie. Yeah. Obviously, his O-line can kind of wreck him. I thought he had one of the throws of the year in, I think it was the second quarter, Core.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, across his body into the end zone. And obviously, I think he made it a game. The Titans just aren't a great run franchise, and against a team like the Rams, they're eventually gonna lose. I think in the fourth quarter is when I think Stafford had a pick in the third quarter, but the fourth quarter is when I think the Rams kind of heated up. I think their D-line with Verse and the other guy, they kept showing these graphics, Core, of both of them and they're such boys. I think they just absolutely dominated the game at the end.
Yeah.
Visk. Yeah, Visk.
Yeah.
And
Visk with F.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
And
right, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, come on, man.
And I love seeing the Stafford Davante connection.
Yeah.
I think it's such a shame for Davante Adams' career that he went to the Raiders for freaking 2 years.
Yeah.
It just shows when he has a good quarterback, he's literally unguardable one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I think the main takeaway is the Rams played as expected. They're kind of a little late to the party in the game, and
Hmm.
the Titans played as expected, and as did Cam Ward. Honestly, nothing really surprised me.
Mm,
Maybe that Puka run surprised me because he looked like he was tackled and just
Yeah.
broke
mhm,
through.
mhm.
And I absolutely love Puka. So honestly, sounds like a solid game, but Core would love your thoughts on the full experience of being at the
Yeah.
game.
Corey, over to you.
So it was an awesome game to be at. That I've gone to, this is my 10th year going to a
Hmm.
Rams game.
Hmm.
11 overall. We skipped a year in the COVID year. And this was actually the most Rams fans I've seen
Let's
at a
go.
game.
Wow.
And the whole, so I was sitting on the home side. So I was looking at the Rams sideline, and the whole bottom deck behind the Rams sideline was pretty much all Rams fans. Um,
Do the
and
Titans
they're
have
just
fans?
right. There was a couple around me, but I mean, it felt like it was pretty split. And I
Yeah.
don't think it's because the Rams had so many travel. I think it's because there just wasn't many people there overall.
Hmm.
Um, it and they were quiet. They
It's
just,
such a slap in the face.
I,
Dude, it's
yeah.
brutal. Titans fans, it's
So
brutal.
Yeah.
it
It's
it
tough
was a
franchise.
really. I was nervous at halftime. I was like, this is going to be the Rams losing again. But the thing I kept reminding myself with is a rookie quarterback is prone to always make at least one or two pretty big game affecting um, decisions. And he honestly went like the whole first half without that. Like he had sacks
Mm,
and stuff, but he didn't have a turnover or anything like that. Um, but then he had a pretty key fumble
mm,
in the second half, and the Rams were only up by four. So it was a one possession game
Yep.
still. And he fumbled it, and off of that fumble, the Rams got a touchdown. And at that point, it was 27-16. Game was pretty much over at that point.
mhm.
Hmm.
Um, that Puka end around run, it was exactly the same in person. You look at it like, oh, he's going to be tackled,
And then he
and
just,
somehow he just breaks through.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I will say it is. You mentioned you felt like it was a little bit of a surprise that Puka ran. If you Sean McVay loves doing end around runs with
Yeah.
his wide receivers, so it was
Mhm.
very normal for the Rams offense to have that sort of play.
Mhm.
Um, the surprising part was it looked like he was going to be tackled, and then he ended up breaking through. But that was honestly the Titans' defense. They just weren't playing
Mhm.
very well the whole time, and
Hmm.
it caught up to them by the second half. Um, Stafford's interception, it was just underthrown. It just wasn't a good pass, and it just
Yeah. Yep.
happened. Um, the Cam Ward, that scramble for that was
Unbelievable.
infuriating because it we
You had
we
him.
got the defensive pressure
Yep.
immediately. Like that's why he was scrambling out,
Yep.
and he held on to the ball for like 2 or 3 more seconds because our corners were covering him. But
Hmm.
I don't think that play was a result of our secondary doing poor coverage. They can only
Mhm.
cover for so long. It was like 4 or 5 seconds.
Hmm.
Like that defensive line needs to. First of all, we lost containment, and we were scrambling after him and just giving him all the time in the world. Like eventually, there's going to be a wide receiver that breaks free, and that's exactly. And it was an incredible throw across his body to get it to the other corner of the end zone.
Amazing.
Um,
The throw you should never make.
it honestly was
Yeah.
a
He'll
throw that
get
you should
burned on
never
that.
make. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Rams had no one over there because he was rolling out to the right. So the
Hmm.
whole defense kind of shifted along with him. And then there was a crossing route back to the left. So you have your safeties over here and a corner just chasing a wide receiver. The wide receiver got ahead of him. Cam Ward threw the dot. So even if he overthrew it or something, would just land on the
Yeah.
ground in the end
Yeah.
zone. But he got ahead of it. So I think that that was like discouraging to see, but I'm like, it's just sometimes plays like that are going to happen.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, the second half, though, I was really encouraged by the Rams' offense, and
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you could tell Devontae Adams is going to be an impact for the Rams offense.
Yeah. Yep.
He had, like you said, 8 catches, but on
Yeah.
13 targets or something like that.
He had 6 catches on 13 targets. So technically, he caught half his passes, but over 100 yards receiving. He averaged 17.7 yards
So
per.
there were probably 4 balls thrown that were 25 more yards that typically Devontae Adams would catch.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
would
What
have
was what?
changed the game.
Why do you think he didn't?
So
Like, do you think it was
Stafford,
more on Stafford or more on? Or
no,
I mean, it could just
Stafford
be
put
there.
Stafford.
Especially
So
the one. I can't remember which one it was. I was like, wow.
there was a long pass over the shoulder that he
Yep.
typically would catch. It hit him right in the hands, and he just didn't catch it. That's on Devontae Adams. I would say at least 3 or 4, probably 3 of the passes that Stafford made, they were just be tough catches for anyone.
Mm,
Hmm.
Really in the traffic, tight types of things. Maybe Stafford threw it a little bit too far outside.
mm,
Um, but there was probably like 3 catches or so that Devontae Adams typically would have made. So I really think it was probably split between the two. It's
mm,
like a little bit of like Stafford still trying to get the chemistry. Also, Stafford is really good at putting the ball in a position and making their wide receiver go get it.
Yeah, which is
Um,
perfect for Devontae Adams with his
and it's
size.
perfect for Devontae Adams, but there was a couple of cases where you could tell Stafford put it in a position that he wanted to catch, and it wasn't a Devontae Adams' fault that he wasn't in the position to catch it, but it kept the ball safe. So like maybe he, if he didn't get bumped in his route or something, he would have been there. Or Stafford's just like, okay, let's see if Devontae Adams can make a play, because we actually saw some of those later in the game. Devontae Adams, there was one like diving catch where he snagged it. The ball was like 4 inches from the ground. He rolls on his back, jumps up again, and keeps running, and then goes back down. Like that is it's really incredible to see, because they have the best corners and a safety on Puka. So now you're putting your second best player or second best secondary on Devontae Adams, and I think that's why he got 13 targets, because Stafford's looking at Puka first, seeing he's covered, rightfully so, sometimes double covered.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, we're going to go to Devontae Adams, and now he's one-on-one covered, and he gets a lot of looks at that. So think I'm surprised how balanced it is. I'm surprised that I didn't realize that he actually had more yards than Puka. Now Puka had that long run, so the total yards is different, but the actual pass, it kind of makes sense to me because of the whole defensive scheme. It's like you're going to put more players on Puka. So it was just nice to see the Rams win
I wonder if
in
this.
person.
Do you guys think this is the first? Well, technically, I guess when Adams joined the Jets last year for a short period, but this is really the first full season he's going to get not having the number one corner covering him.
He is, yeah.
So
in his career.
Which will be injured. Now he's late in his career, but does he take advantage of that?
Man, he didn't seem like himself. I mean, other than the couple drop passes that he probably typically wouldn't have had, like his movement looked like he did 5 years ago.
I love watching his route running. That route on the touchdown, he just like
that
was
sleep. Beautiful.
Right down the sideline, baby. It was a beautiful throw. It's beautiful.
I had the exact view into that corner of the end zone, and you could see Stafford. He just was throwing the ball to the corner, and you could tell Stafford just knew Devontae Adams was going to be there to catch it. It was. I was like, that's what the Rams have now. That we used to have it with Cooper Kupp, but Cooper Kupp fell off a little bit. But the difference with Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp was always more of a slot wide receiver, and he would catch it 5 to 10 yards right in the middle of the field, and somehow he would always figure out how to run it for 20, 30 more yards. Devontae Adams just seems like he can play anywhere, wide out or slot. And then we have Tutu Atwell, who can put pressure on the safeties, take the top off. He wasn't too
quick,
loud in this particular game. He had a couple
didn't need to be
opportunities, but he didn't need to be. But his role was that he put that pressure on it, which opened it up for Puka and Adams. So
Yeah.
really good overall. I was just pleased that we didn't struggle. Like I mentioned last week, I was
Mm,
worried that, especially previous seasons, the Rams don't typically start off really fast.
Yeah.
It'll be
mhm.
interesting. Now we're 2-0. Now,
2-0,
you know,
baby.
yeah, we haven't beat the best teams out there, but I think mentally starting off 2-0 is just huge.
Oh,
It's
it's
huge.
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, it's like that win over the Titans looks pretty good. I mean, I agree with you, Corey. I was just going into that game thinking potential trap game for the Rams, traveling across the
hmm
country.
hmm
I'm
Yeah.
actually wondering, do you think they go back to LA and then come
I
back
think
to
they
home?
do. Yeah, I was thinking about that
That's
because
wild.
they could get back to LA
In the same day.
about 4 hours. So it was it was a noon game in Tennessee. Um, so it was
Yeah.
over at 3:30, get
No,
on the
they're
plane
back. They're back
4:30.
to LA by 7 p.m. basically.
Yeah, exactly. And now they're probably going to practice there until Thursday, have a normal flight. Now,
Yeah.
what's interesting, they'll probably stay out, I think, after Philly because they have who do they play after Philly? I think
Another AFC team, right?
yeah, let's
Yeah,
see.
it'll be interesting. It's a tough schedule. Just a
What a
lot of
br
traveling out.
what a brutal start, like
Wait, the
travel
Rams
wise.
don't go back home? They're going three straight road games? That's
So they play,
they should be going
yeah,
home.
no, they go home the 28th.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it should
so
be.
they go back home and play the Colts.
There you go.
Um, and then they play the
Danny
Niners
Dimes.
at home. But then they have a stretch where they go Ravens, so back on the East Coast, then Jags over in London.
Oh,
So that's going to be a long
that's
stretch.
interesting. That'll be
Yeah,
really
that
Yeah.
interesting.
is.
So I'd like to remind everyone that if I'm looking at the game log, that the Rams received the kickoff from the Titans with 3 minutes and 27 seconds left in the third quarter, losing 16-13.
Yes.
So the score tells you they blew them out, and ultimately they did. I mean, they took that drive, scored a touchdown. Uh, it
Mhm.
goes punt, punt. Start of the fourth quarter is when Ward gets strip sacked. I believe
Yep.
that was Byron Young who
Yeah.
created that, and
Mhm.
um,
So
and
something to note too, the Titans, so Rams punted it. The Titans
yeah,
returned it for a touchdown and it was called back
Oh, I
for
saw
I did
that.
not see that
a
holding,
I think
some form of holding.
it wasn't a holding, it was like a blindside block or something like that. And it
Wow,
wasn't needed. Like it was just one of those plays you watch, you're like, that guy could have just stood in the way.
Oh,
He didn't
that's the
actually,
worst.
no way.
That's the
and
worst.
that would have put the Rams down, I
Like,
think, 7, if
Well,
not
it
10 at the
was.
point. I forget exactly
I
when
think
it
it was.
happened.
Wasn't that in the third quarter when it was 20-16 Rams?
I forget exactly when it happened, but
Okay.
it would have
Yeah, that
changed
would
the
have.
game
Yeah, that would have
significantly.
changed the dynamics of it.
hmm
I think the a few comments overall on the Rams. I think McVay did a good job of still. I mean, the temptation with the Rams offense is to throw, right? I mean, because when you have
Yeah.
those guys out there, and he did a good job of still mixing in the runs with Kyron Williams, still giving him the ball 17 times. Now they still throw it like
Yeah.
30. They
I
throw it
mean, that's
32
just the
times.
Rams off. I mean, something to note
Yeah,
too is
I'd be
Blake.
tempted to run it like 8 times. I'd be like, bro, why are we
Yeah.
wasting time here? But you want to still establish the run as much as you can, and at
Blake
least get the
Corum came
defense guessing.
alive a little bit.
Yes, yeah,
He only had 5 rushes, but he averaged 8.8,
yeah.
and he has a
24
touchdown.
yards. It's pretty impressive.
hmm
Yeah, I mean, overall between Quorum and Williams, and then that handoff to Nakua, I mean, there's 23. There's 23 carries. So,
mhm.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so I mean, the point is they're McVay's trying to maintain a well balanced offense, which I think he did overall.
hmm
The question I think that's going to be interesting for the Rams is going to be just giving Stafford time. I think that's going to be can the offensive line give him the time to throw the ball? Because that's the
Mhm.
only way defenses are really going to stop the Rams offense is
hmm
you have to get to Stafford and rattle him. And if you do that, then you can limit what Nakua does and what Devontae
Yeah.
Adams does.
So
So
Mhm.
I don't, to be honest, I don't know if Stafford's not the type of quarterback that's going to necessarily get rattled, but
sure.
he just won't have time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to affect him, but like, like some quarterbacks you can just continue to hit and hit
Yeah.
and now like you can tell they're scared back there, stuff like that. Like that's not Stafford's style. But the fact is like I've seen it in the past where we'll go the whole game and Stafford
Yes.
just will have no time to throw it all. And
Mm,
Stafford will handle it well. Like he's, doing the plays, he's trying to do the checkdowns and stuff, but like it just gets to a point where there's just no time. And
yep.
you can watch too how Sean McVay
Yep.
changes. He will try to get Stafford in better situations in those
Yep.
circumstances. You'll see a lot more shotgun. You'll see a lot more end arounds, trying to get around the edges and stuff to get the pressure off
Yep.
of him in the middle. So um, we haven't seen that this year yet. What's nice is our offensive line is pretty healthy right now,
Mm,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
when the Rams have a healthy offensive line, we're a Super Bowl caliber
mm,
team.
mm.
When we made it to the Super Bowl and won, we were one of the only teams in the league that had the same starting five offensive linemen the
Mhm.
whole
Wow.
season.
Wow. Wow.
And
Wow.
then the next year that the year the Rams did terrible off of the Super Bowl
Yep.
win,
Yep.
we had the opposite problem where we had like the most offensive line combinations through the season because
Okay.
of just injury.
Interesting. It's interesting.
And when you have more of a pocket passer quarterback, I think that's
Yep.
even more
Yep.
important because Stafford's
Yep.
not going to run it like Hurts does.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Yeah,
have to maintain the integrity of that line.
yeah, exactly.
It'll be really interesting to see if the Rams can hold up on the offensive line and if they have the depth that's needed moving forward. We're going to move on to Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl rematch. Final score 20-17. Birds take the win. Now having beaten the Chiefs 3 times in a row, including the Super Bowl. Just want to make a note of that. Jalen Hurts 15-22 for 101 yards. I'm not making that up. 101 yards. Saquon Barkley, 22 carries for 88 yards, less than 100 yet again. A.J. Brown had 8 targets, so at least they were throwing the ball to him. 5 catches for 27 yards. I'm not making that up either. 27 yards. And Devonta Smith with 4 catches for 53 yards. Ultimately, it was the ball that went through Taylor Swift's fiance's hands into the arms of Andrew Makuba down the sideline for a 40-yard return. That was, I would say, the turning point of the game. Chiefs had a 17-play drive going before that turnover that just totally turned the tides and led to an Eagles touchdown, taking the 20-10 lead. And after a 3-and-out and Chiefs punt, game's basically over at that point. Ryan, we'll go to you first. Ultimate takeaway from Eagles Chiefs game. What are your thoughts?
Guys, I have so many thoughts about this game.
Hit
I
us.
One, I think this is the end of the tush push. I think it'll officially get banned
Yeah.
now. I think that's my biggest takeaway. That's
At the end of
all.
the year. You mean at the end of the year?
Yeah, at the end of the year. That's all the talking heads we're kind of discussing today.
Sure.
I will say the Eagles, man, they just win games.
Yeah.
I can't understand how they do it. Like, so Jalen Hurts' last 19 games, he's 18-1. And the one loss he left in the first quarter after scoring 14 points on two
Against
two
Washington.
drives.
Yeah.
Yeah, against Washington. So pretty much he's almost 19-0 in his last starts. Think about that. That's a full season, and the
Right.
Eagles haven't lost when Jalen Hurts plays full game.
And he
So
averages 83 yards passing.
and sometimes we look horrible. We
We
look
Yeah.
horrible.
we
I mean,
look
honestly,
bad.
the Chiefs did not a highlight film type of
Yeah.
game.
oh my gosh, the game was horrible.
The Chiefs
game
are just embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the biggest takeaway is that the NFL got like the worst version of the tush push, and I agree. There was two different times that we jumped off sides.
Yes.
Once on the goal line, and then once on whenever we kind of, I think it was like 3rd and 1. And yes, do I want the play to get banned? No. Will it get banned? Yes. Do I love how mad it makes people? Yes. I would love nothing more if the Eagles lined up on the 30-yard line and tush pushed for a 15-minute drive, 4 downs. I don't give one crap. I love how mad it makes people. And I get it. If I
Let's
was
go,
an Eagles
baby.
fan, I would instantly hate it. It would instantly piss me off.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so the biggest takeaway is the tush push. My other highlights I'll let you guys go is one, I was so impressed by our defense.
Mm.
Right. who knows how good the Chiefs are, but the Chiefs have made what 5 straight AFC championships and 4 straight
Yep.
Super Bowls. So
Yep.
Hmm.
they and they have the same core that they've always had.
Yep.
So having Jalen Carter back, they had absolutely no run game whatsoever. The
Yep.
only run game they had was Mahomes scrambling, which
Yep.
obviously was a problem. So Jalen Carter owned that. Jordan Davis, Mike's favorite player, is killing it as of recent with kind of stopping the run.
Dude, he
And
kept he kept cramping up his hamstring. I was like, get back on the field,
yeah,
bro.
he did, dude. He did. So defense, honestly, they reminded me a lot of the playoffs defense.
Hmm.
They like last year. They played way better than they did against the Cowboys. Sure, we got lucky with the Kelsey turnover, but the Chiefs, could end up with a field goal there. Like they were still on
Hmm.
pace for 20 or less points, regardless of if they scored there. Um,
Hmm.
and then the offense honestly looks terrible. We had one throw past. I think we had one throw for 9 yards was our biggest completion. Mike, Mike can
Well,
Mike can
Yeah,
correct.
that
Oh no, sorry,
The
sorry.
Devontae Smith,
Before
the Devontae
Devontae
Smith,
Smith.
before
Yes.
Devontae Smith.
yeah.
And I literally was like, if it's not 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, we can't get a first down because we can't tush push. And
Yeah.
that's kind of scary. But at the same time, I think back to last year. I think back when we were
Yep.
2-2. We were playing the Saints. We were
Yep.
playing the Saints, and we had 6 points with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And
Mhm.
then,
Yep.
like, obviously, it has similarities to the Chiefs last year. It has
Yep.
similarities to Brian Johnson calling plays in 23. But
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm believing in the coaching. I'm believing in the team. So I feel okay. We just beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead, which is
Yeah.
incredible. But the takeaway is the tush push is getting banned, but I love it.
Yeah.
Next. Sorry, I know it's a lot.
All right, Corey, over to you. No, it's good. Really good.
I totally agree. So all I'm hearing about is the tush push as well. Um, I think the
The game
argument
was boring to talk about. Nobody wants
Yeah.
to talk about the
yeah,
game. It's like, what are you even
Yes.
going to say?
I know.
Agreed.
I think the argument last season they tried to say it was a safety concern, and it just wasn't. Like people just don't really get hurt on that play. It's not like people are running full speed to each other. I mean, sure they don't feel comfy doing it, but it's not a
Yeah.
high risk in terms of injury, which I think is one of the biggest things.
Correct.
What I think is different now that people are starting to catch on to is it is extremely hard to officiate.
Yep.
And
That's what they said on the broadcast.
it's so easy for things to happen like we saw in the Chiefs game after you watch a slow-mo is like two of the Eagles offensive linemen start pushing forward right before this ball is snapped, but it's so quick that the officials can't see it. And that's not a non-reviewable type of thing. It's on both sides of the ball though, because like you look at the Chiefs defensive line, they're all in the neutral zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The Chiefs, there were 3 times the Chiefs had a hand across the line, like
yeah,
across where the ball was. They called it once. They didn't call it the other two. I
Yeah.
think the
yeah.
refs were just like, all right, we're just going to let them play it. Like, whatever.
Well, the thing is, it's like if you don't let the Chiefs get that close, like you might as well just give them the first down without even snapping the ball. Like there's no way you're stopping that
Yeah.
sort of play.
And
Like if they have
yeah.
to line up a yard off like the neutral zones or half a yard off like the neutral zone says, so like you there's no way you're stopping the Eagles with that.
Mhm.
You're probably not stopping hardly any team with that, even teams that don't run the tush push very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you combine that with the Eagles are very, very good at, and I think this is why they're so successful with it, is all their offensive linemen know how to time the snap. And I think to the
Yeah.
naked eye, it looks like they're
Mhm.
just timing it perfectly. You slow it down
Yeah.
and you actually
Yeah.
see
They're
what we
slightly
saw on
ahead.
Sunday. They're slightly ahead.
I'm
Yeah.
shocked. So you
I
guys,
did notice that.
do you guys think the Eagles have been doing that the whole time?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
think-
I honestly do. And I
How
think
has it not been called before? How has the NFL never like looked? Because this
because
play's
I
been so
think
dissected.
People forget
to-
that this is year 4 that they've been doing this technically.
And I
This
think
is
to
the
the
4th
naked
year.
eye, you can't tell. And it's a non-reviewable thing.
Yeah,
So,
true.
so now you're
So they're never going to actually look at it.
yeah, the refs have to guess that it's happening. And I don't think they're in the business of guessing on. I mean, sometimes it seems like they're in the business of guessing calls, but like I think they
Mhm.
have to err on the side of it's not happening if they can't see that it's happening. They can't just throw a flag thinking it happened.
You don't
Mhm.
think 2 refs could stand on either side with the guys in the middle
I think the
and
Eagles
watch the
I
timing
think
of
the
it.
Eagles are too good at timing it. I
It's
think to
almost
the
like
naked eye.
they start their motion and then he
Right.
hikes it, but it's
Yeah.
Correct.
so subtle.
It's so subtle and so
Yeah, it's
quick.
impressive. It is impressive.
Yeah. It's honestly a testament to the timing of the Eagles. You can tell they've really dialed down, and that's what makes it so successful. But it is getting to that point where it's just people are starting to see it's so hard to officiate.
Mhm.
And I think that's the reason they need to get it banned. Now, in my opinion, I actually don't think they should
What are they
ban it.
banning? Are they banning pushing altogether?
I think they are banning
They're banning
that.
pushing.
They're gonna have to ban all pushing.
Yeah, because
Meaning, if
you can
Kyren
never.
Williams is running into the end zone and a lineman pushes him in, penalty, back to
They'll,
the
Yeah.
spot of the
they'll
foul.
probably not going to do it upfield. They'll probably do it at the line of scrimmage.
So they said that you like the rules committee core said you can't have it both ways because
Yeah.
like the rule initially was, hey, you can't push like the quarterback,
Mhm.
and then but that applied for players downfield, and they said that kind of alleviates some like cool plays. Like Marshawn Lynch has some famous ones where he's getting pushed into by
Yeah.
Seattle. So they reinstated the rule because of that, and then the
Yeah.
Eagles just exploited it
Yeah.
with this push
So
push.
I think I don't know what they're going to ban, if anything, but
Mhm.
what could help it a lot is trying to figure out how to tighten up the officiating of it.
Mhm.
I think the NFL has done great with reviewing things and things along those lines, and I think it's really helped the league. But you think maybe they see a tush push about to happen, and that's an exception where they can get a camera down the line to make sure it's
Mhm.
done. Like if that's
I
what the
think you
refs
ban.
need help
Yeah, I think
with.
you just keep it simple. Ban pushing, no pushing, and guys are gonna have to learn the hard way. You can't because they don't let the defense push, which is
And
stupid.
then we will be famous even more forever,
I
Come
know
on.
you will.
which I
don't
kind of
think-
want.
You know what I think is going to happen? I don't know if the pushing is enough to stop the play. I think the Eagles will just run it without the pushing, and it's going to be just as much.
Maybe. I mean, Brady's QB
yeah.
sneaks were pretty successful.
Yeah.
He was-
Brady's QB
he was-
sneaks, but like when they like everyone knows they're tush pushing, so I've like studied the play for
Yeah.
this podcast. Like everyone goes low, and
Yes.
then Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson, left tackle, left guard, like take out like any sort of like leg power, and then
Yeah.
Hurts jumps on top of them. It's every time
just
the left
rides
side,
him.
and then Dallas Goedert just pushes them, and then like they're all like,
Yeah. So the
It's
last
so
thing
funny. It's so stupid.
I know. The last thing I'll say
Yeah.
about just the game outside of tush push is, I think there was a good chance the Eagles could have lost if Kelsey caught that pass. There's a good chance he would have fallen into the end zone, and the whole game would have been different because the Eagles were not playing well on offense, and it would have been interesting to see if they would have been able to come back with a struggling offense.
Yeah.
They needed that play, and that's kind of to Ryan's point. They just kind of
Sure.
have figured out a way to play, or win.
This has been the big thing. This has been the big thing on Jalen. If you get ahead of him and make him throw, then how does it go? So if you look at the Eagles games last year, they played a soft enough schedule and it worked out well enough for them. They were winning most of the games they were playing that Jalen was in. And so then they could play their style of game that they wanted to. The Bengals went up early on them. There's not many games where the Eagles went down early. They went down early against the Ravens as well. But like I'm talking like in this circumstance where it would have been late, it would have been fourth quarter, right? Early fourth quarter, they go down, and now Jalen has to throw the ball. Because I truly think that what the Eagles are doing, it seems like it doesn't make sense, but it's simple. Last year they started 2-2. A big part of the reason they struggled was turnovers from Jalen. He was trying to force the ball. He was trying to get it into tight windows, and they were throwing the ball a lot and spreading it down the field. So ultimately, yeah, I think they are just going, if we don't turn the ball over, and if we win the turnover battle, What did they say statistically? If you win the turnover battle, it's like 82% of the time you win the game.
And all the Eagles do is win the turnover battle.
Yeah.
All they do is win the turnover battle.
Because
So
all we do is tush push and throw it 4 yards.
Well,
yes,
yeah, they also
but
say the other thing that wins games is if you can control the short yardage situations, which is
Yep.
exactly what the tush push does.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
exactly.
So yeah, so ultimately, don't make the mistakes, and then it looks ugly. This is what it looks like. Now, I do think what they did last year, as they got towards the playoffs and in the playoffs, is they let Jalen open it up a little bit more, and
Yeah.
then of course you see what happened in the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl. But people forget most of the season looked like looked like looked like this. I mean,
It
this is
did.
what it was. He was throwing for 140 yards a game. So I think the Eagles fans have to just be ready for like this is what you're going to get for this season. Buckle up for it.
hmm
The notes I was going to make real quick on the defenses: they picked up Zadarius Smith for $9 million from the Lions.
He
Dude's a
looked
beast.
great.
Dude's a beast. And then yeah, I mean, just like you look at their draft picks. First, second round, those guys are studs on the field. Andrew Makuba with the pick. Makuba had a sack and had a key stop on that fourth down that the Chiefs went for
Yeah.
early in the second
He
half.
was awesome.
So, I mean, I think his top two draft picks they're both instant starters on defense, which is huge for the defense that was losing some guys.
Bring more fun to your rounds with Birdie Board, the golf app designed for matches with friends. Choose the format you love: stroke play, match play, Stableford. With or without teams, handicaps or not. Invite your friends, and Birdie Board does the rest. Just enter your score and focus on the fun, while we keep track of everything, including stats like lowest score and worst hole. Download Birdie Board today on the App Store or Google Play,
No, so
and let the games begin.
two things. One is a high level thing. I thought, right, last year the Eagles won the Super Bowl in a very dominating fashion. I thought I would start this year and I'd be like, you know what? I'm chilling. Like I'm relaxed. I am as into it and as intense as I've ever been. And I don't understand why. Like I'm like, am I too into
Until
this?
we won, you should chill.
I know. I'm like, am I too into this team? Am I too into this game? I just love it. I love watching it. And I think because I know our roster is so talented and we have such good pieces that like this is our window. Obviously, like things can happen, your window can go and like can come and go. But
Yeah.
my love for the Eagles is almost as strong as ever. Like I'm watching like Laura's like, hey, like, can you like make dinner? Like I told her earlier in the day, like, hey, I'm gonna go grill chicken. The game's at 4 o'clock. So like grilling chicken is in the middle of the game, like middle of third quarter. I was like, yeah, like no problem. Third quarter, I'm standing up, not cooking anything. I end up grilling I end up grilling at like 9 p.m. in the complete dark. Because I was too into it, dude.
Because then the game ends, dude, and you got to watch all the post game.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I had like a headphone in, like grilling with a flashlight. Yeah. So that's my one comment, and I want to give another prop. We don't have to go into it. I just want to give kudos. I think, Mike, obviously, Corey, you've been watching the NFL and the Eagles, but Mike, I know you know my pain of watching like our defense in between like Jimmy Johnson and not Jimmy Johnson. I forget who our D corner was.
Yeah, but they had
like Bradwell,
a list of guys, dude.
Yes, all those like Maxwell, all those like corners
Byron
we signed
Maxwell. Dude,
for
Nnamdi
years.
Asomugha.
Asamoah. Yeah, he was like
brutal.
We constantly, our defense would always get torched, and Dez Bryant would have like 800 yards against us, 6 touchdowns. And like I am so happy for Vic Fangio. I know he's kind of like some defensive teams, like the Dolphins hated him. The players hated him. But I think his scheme and like what he's created, I honestly like love watching our defense play. And I usually just completely regret it. And honestly, the reason why we were so dominant last year in the Super Bowl was because like our defense won us the games. And I absolutely love our defense this year. That's why I'm not as concerned about our offense, because our defense, I think, can keep us in almost every game. So I just wanted to highlight that because I wanted to tell it that like last week, but the Cowboys kind of exposed us for 2 quarters.
Very true.
Good.
Yeah. What about you, Corey?
The last thing I thought of during this game is this is the second game in a row that a team's been able to limit Barkley to any long runs, which is interesting to me. I think it's pretty normal for
Good
teams who
point.
sometimes have slower starts, and maybe that's just what that is. I could also see it being like the teams are just doing everything they can to stop
Hmm.
Barkley, period. Um, so they could even more so than last year. But like the first 3 to 5 games last
Yep.
year, the Eagles like teams weren't respecting the run.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
the
Do
type
you
of
actually
runner
remember
Barkley
which
is.
game? Do you remember which game, Corey? Saquon had his first like breakaway run, like beyond 25 yards.
No, but I know the Rams played them pretty
It
early.
wasn't week one, and it wasn't week two. It was week three. Week
Really?
That
three
was
in
the
New
Saints,
Orleans,
right?
he had a 60-yard touchdown run, and then against the Buccaneers, he had a breakaway 50 to 60-yard run that wasn't
Yeah.
a touchdown.
The
Didn't have
Rams
it
the
blown
Rams
out.
gave him a lot of opportunities.
Man,
He did break.
he
Well,
he
and
owned the Rams last year.
the Rams
My
was halfway
gosh.
through the year, so
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see. Give it a couple weeks how it goes.
Yeah, so that stood out
That's a
to
good
me.
point, though.
Maybe it's
It
just a
is.
repeat of last season. Or the slower start last season. I really could just see teams being like, we're gonna stop one thing, and that's a big run from Barkley, and
Yep.
Hmm.
force Hurts to beat us through the air or something like that. So
Yep.
that stood out to me for 2 weeks in a row, just kind of limiting
Definitely.
those. I think I don't know if that's going to be the case next
Yeah.
week.
Hey, defensive scheme. If you're the Rams, simple. Load the box. Dare Jalen to beat you down the field.
Mhm.
And that's pretty that simple. So stop Barkley and don't bang like don't be afraid of Jalen throwing downfield because he's just not. He's not
Mhm.
throwing the ball. He's not taking chances downfield. So just it'll be really interesting. And I mean let's have this leeway into
Okay.
Eagles
Yep.
Rams matchup. So let's get into specific matchups. Corey, we'll start with you. What would you say is what are you most looking forward to matchup wise? And that could be
All right.
unit versus unit, or that could be
Mhm.
just player versus player. Because I have a
Yep.
specific player matchup that neither of you allowed to take, and that's Devontae Adams burning Adoree Jackson. So I'll take that one. You guys can take whatever else you want.
So yeah, week 3, Rams Eagles, probably the most exclusive and fun matchup that we could have for this podcast.
Yeah.
Um, the I mean, they just burned us so bad last year during the season.
Revenge time for those Rams.
I know I mean, the statistics of beating a team twice in a row is low. It's even lower 3 times in a row. Doesn't
True.
say it's not going to
We beat the
happen, but
Rams twice last year.
yeah, yeah. But you saw we played you guys a lot better in the Super Bowl, or not Super Bowl, in the playoffs.
Division round. Yep.
Yeah, than we did obviously during the season. The season was a home game. Um, it. I am still afraid of the Rams defense getting torched again by the Eagles.
Interesting.
And
Wow.
it's not just Barkley. Hurts had several runs over 20 yards in both of the games as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
We, I think, are stronger this year on defense than we were last year.
Mm-hmm.
We have better linebackers than last year. Our defensive line was solid last year, but they were young. This is versus second year, Fisk's second year. Byron Young is really becoming a key defensive player for us. So I think we're a lot stronger defensively than last year. To me, I think it comes down to how well can our defense slow down the run.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't slow it down enough, we're going to lose the game. In my opinion, I don't think it's how well the Rams are going to play on offense. I think the Rams will score points. I think we're going to have some big plays with Puka and Devontae. I think we're going to expose parts of the defense, the Eagles defense, pretty easily, if I'm being honest, at times. But I could just see us being ran all over because even at times we struggled versus the Titans. Going into the second half tied with the Titans, that didn't feel too great. So that's kind of my initial impression of what I think.
Mike, you want to go next? No, I'll jump in last.
No, dude, no. You should you jump on. You're just not allowed to take my Devontae Adams, Adoree Jackson. I get to rant on that.
I'll be honest, that was my probably number one matchup, just because it's like
No, hit
one
it.
I'm
You're
most
good.
worried about. No, but
Don't
actually,
forget,
like,
Adoree has a dislocated finger, dude, or whatever
yeah.
his issue was.
So I actually fully agree with Corey. I would say the Rams can go toe to toe with us on our passing game. I would say the Rams are almost a better passing team as of now than the Eagles are currently. I think the Eagles are dominant at stopping the run. Um, at least when Jalen Carter doesn't spit on people. So I don't think the Rams can do anything I don't think they'll do much on the ground.
Mhm.
I think they do historically better against like quarterbacks that can't burn them with their legs. Obviously, like the
Right.
only points Chiefs scored was because of Mahomes running,
Yep.
and Stafford
Yep.
just can't run. So
I hope Stafford has a long, like 20-yard
Yeah.
run for a touchdown.
watch,
A
yeah,
20-yard gimp down the field.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, and honestly, like it might happen because we won't spy. Like we probably won't have any spy. But I
Yeah.
do think it all comes down to Barkley versus the Rams defense because if Barkley can have 75% of the production he had against the Rams last year, I think we
Mm.
definitely
Yeah.
own the game and win just from a time of possession
Mhm.
and it's just demoralizing. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
it happened obviously the playoffs was closer, but it happened the same thing in the season as it did kind of in the playoffs. Barkley had two big runs in both games, one in the start of the second half, and then the
Mhm.
other one with like 3-4 minutes left.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I think it all comes down to can the Rams very talented D line like not
Yep.
just rush up field and because they're super talented at getting to the quarterback, getting sacks. Because
Yep.
the Eagles thrive on that. They thrive at people overcutting, and then they like
Mhm.
Saquon hits a direct line.
Mhm.
And can the Rams be more disciplined with their like what I learned from the Chiefs is like I was like, how did the Chiefs stop Barkley so well? So
Mhm.
Brady talked about it on, or whoever is with Brady on the
Mhm.
broadcast.
Fox
They said like
Fives.
everyone has, and Corey, you can maybe speak to this. Everyone has like their like lane or like
Mhm. Yeah.
their like lane, their MO. And like what Barkley did, Barkley would like like center his shoulders against the Rams, and people would kind of come
Mhm.
in, and he would just instantly do a jump cut and go out.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's how he scored every single touchdown. But the
Mhm.
Chiefs, Barkley would do that, and then the Chiefs would just stay in their lane, so like no
Yeah.
big runs could ever get. So like
They keep
can,
containment. Yeah.
they keep containment. So like, can the Rams be disciplined? And if they can do
Mhm.
that, I think it's going to be a fantastic game.
Mhm.
Mike, to you.
So, real quick, Corey, it sounds like you're thinking this is going to be a super high scoring game. True or false? Just the way you're
no.
talking about it.
I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game per se, because I don't think the Eagles are going to bend over to the Rams offense or anything. I think we're better than we were last year on offense. I truly think Devontae Adams is a huge step up. And I know the Eagles secondary, correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
is not as strong as it was last year.
Mhm.
So
Correct.
I think that's going to help the Rams a lot on offense. We have a healthy offensive line. So I do think you guys are going to get to Stafford a few times during the game, but I don't think it's going to be as bad. I still think it's just going to come down to can the Rams defense slow down really your whole run game? Because like I said, Hurts
Yeah,
even
with
burned
Hurts
us
too.
a lot too.
Oh yeah,
And-
Hurts had like a 50-yard run last year. You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Rams struggle very hard against they have against running
hmm
strong running teams.
Mhm.
So what will be interesting to see too, I think with one of the reasons the playoff game was as close as it was, if you remember, the Eagles for some odd reason came out passing the ball. They hardly ran the
Yeah, they
ball in
did.
like the first two quarters.
Yeah. And it was like
and I-
6-7. Yeah.
Well,
and
they had the two long touchdown runs, right, by Saquon and
That was in the second half though.
Jalen.
yeah.
No,
Oh,
What?
so sorry. The Hurts one was was in the first
Hurt-
quarter.
But it was near
Guys, guys, he and Saquon were both in the first half.
I
Saquon
think
wasn't until it snowed and it didn't snow
Guys,
until the second.
Saquon had 2 breakaway touchdowns in that game.
No, I know, but
you guys
I
forget
thought
the first one.
I thought
They
the
were both
first
in the
one
first
was
half.
also in the second
They were-
half.
So,
Yeah,
and my
they were
point
both
is,
in-
my point isn't a breakaway though. My point is they like, of course, they're going to get some breakaways, especially at that point
Mhm.
of the season.
Sure.
But like, they were passing so much more. Like at that point, they just needed to do like run, QB sneak,
Mhm.
run. But they were like
Sure.
doing, and that was keeping the Rams in the game in the beginning and keeping it
Sure.
close.
Sure.
And that was a really odd decision by your offensive coordinator at the time. That like, why?
hmm
Like you had the Rams are just not a strong run defense at the time last year.
hmm
Why are you coming out throwing the ball primarily versus running the ball primarily?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think part of the reason, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to try to go look back at it now, was that outside of Saquon's 2 breakaway touchdown runs in that game, the Rams actually did hold him in check. Like,
Yep,
I don't
I
think
know.
he averaged
Yeah.
more than
That's a good point.
2 yards a carry. And so because of that, it was forcing the Eagles to have to throw the ball because it's not like they were getting 6 to 8 yard chunks, right? And the Rams defense actually did an excellent job in that game outside of, and this is going to sound bad, a 50-yard Jalen Hurts touchdown run, a
Yes.
60-yard Saquon touchdown run, and then an 80-yard Saquon touchdown.
We couldn't stop the explosive
That's
plays.
crazy.
I mean,
But
we just
outside of
couldn't.
those 3, the Eagles didn't do much in terms of, like, I remember his.
Mhm.
If
That's a
you
good
took
point.
those runs away, and of course you can't, but if you did,
Yeah.
Saquon averaged like 1.8 yards a carry. I mean, he barely
Well,
did anything.
And that comes down to your safeties too. Like what
Sure.
the Rams were doing is they were stacking the box, especially once it started snowing. Like we just
Yep.
knew we could just put everyone up. Problem with when you stack the box like that, you don't have
You got
anyone up
nobody
top
home.
to prevent the big play.
Yes.
So I think it's hard to think the Rams played better than the first game because the circumstances were so different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think this is going to be that high of a scoring game, mostly because I do think the
Yeah.
Rams will hold Saquon in check like other teams have done. If I had to predict it, I think Saquon gets 1 breakaway run in this game. And I think it happens early. And then I think
I
the
think
Rams
Hurts
lock up their
has
defense.
at least one big scramble as well.
Sure. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe something like that. It's hard for me to see. Hurts is not ready to light up a team throwing the ball. That's just
Yeah.
not what he is right now. So, could he throw it for 150? Sure. Maybe
Mhm.
even like closer to 200, but I don't think he's going to be. Yeah, it's not what Jalen does. Not at this
Yeah.
point in the season. It'll be
Yep.
mostly trying to run it, establish the run.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a fun game.
So fun, yeah. What's going to be
Yeah.
fascinating is how do the Rams attack the Eagles defense? Because what's funny is I feel like as a fan of the Eagles, I would know exactly how to play them. I would be
Yeah.
like, load the box, dare Jalen to beat you down the field, and he won't. And it's simple. That's how you're going to contain them throughout the game. Will they get away with a little thing here or there? Sure, but play tight defense. And then on offense, I would be like, okay, every single play gets targeted at Adoree Jackson. Every single play.
Yeah. So here's a question
I
for
would
you
put
guys.
Nakua over there. I would put Devontae
Yeah.
Adams over there. I put Tutu Atwell.
Yeah.
And everything goes in Adoree. Every play. It would be that simple. I mean, I don't think it's that complicated.
So as diehard Eagles fans, do you guys think this season the Rams are your strongest opponent so far? I know we don't have tons, but between the Cowboys and the Chiefs, do you think the
hands
Rams will
down.
be your?
It's not
you
even.
think
It's
so?
not even a question. At this
Yeah.
moment, yeah.
I would think
I
so.
mean,
Yeah.
Packers are the best team in the NFL, but I think the Rams are our biggest test.
Mhm. I
If
think
you
it will
were
be
to
a great
say-
test.
Yeah, the Chiefs are not that good this year. They're going to be.
Yeah.
They're about to go play the Ravens in 2 weeks. We'll see if they can beat the Giants with the way they're playing.
Yeah.
I mean the Chiefs are going to be like 2-4, maybe 2-5 after 6
Yeah.
or 7 games. So if they can climb out of that hole, God bless Mahomes
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
his abilities. So yeah, that was fun for me with this game is both teams are 2-0. A loss here is not heartbreaking because to go from 2-0 to 2-1 is not the end of the world. If it's Rams losing, they're like, well, we just lost the Super Bowl champs in their stadium and we started
Yeah.
2-1. So that's not
Right.
it. With the Eagles, I mean, it's kind of like, hey, beating a team 3 times in a row in a span of 10 months is pretty hard to do.
It is. Yeah.
So, at some point, It's good. Yeah, you're not going to be able to cover that. I think the key for the Eagles defensively is I mean, if there's no other option but to get to Stafford.
Yeah.
So if he has time, he will pick them apart, and it'll look kind of like the Cowboys game. What's going to be fascinating is both teams so far, I think, have done well adjusting in the second half, in the sense that the Rams really adjusted well, and I think they came out so strong in that fourth quarter against the Titans. It's the Titans, but still. And then the Eagles, I think Vic Fangio. Now, you have the weather and the delay with everything with the Cowboys, but if you look at the second half defensively, yes, they gave up that long drive to the Chiefs, but they didn't score. I mean, the Eagles defense created. So if you're looking at both second halves, Fangio made the adjustments. He gave up like 50 yards rushing to Mahomes in that first half. In the second half, Mahomes had 2 carries for like 6 yards. So the defense did a much better job. The D-line contained. And in this game,
amazing second half.
Yeah, this game, the defense doesn't really have to worry about Stafford running. So that dynamic will be fascinating.
So,
of like, can the D-line get pressure there? Because if they don't, the Eagles are going to lose the game. The Eagles lose if they do not get pressure on Stafford and get him to have to throw the ball early or tip the ball, whatever. I mean, the pressure you saw on Mahomes, the pressure that was on Mahomes, that same pressure has to be on Stafford.
Yeah. So here's a question. It's obvious, in my opinion, the player that I'm most worried about is just Barkley from the Rams perspective. From the Eagles perspective, who do you worry about the most on the Rams?
Puka and Verse.
Not
Puka
even close.
for sure.
It's Puka first and foremost because since Quinyon Mitchell doesn't change sides, the Rams can just put Puka over on Adoree, and Adoree has to cover him. That's just stupid. Last year, if you remember, Slay got hurt early in the game, so Isaiah Rodgers comes in and just gets cooked by Puka. Like
in the snow,
just gets cooked. No. This is in LA. I'm talking in LA.
Oh, really?
He gets cooked by Puka pretty much the entire first half. And in my opinion, Isaiah Rodgers was way better than Adoree Jackson.
He was.
So I don't even know. I mean, in theory, wherever Puka goes, you just double him. You just throw a safety there. And then you just pray to God that Davante Adams doesn't beat you one-on-one. So that's going to be really interesting. It's just funny because teams should feel this way about the Eagles receivers. They should be like, oh, my gosh.
Oh, you're right.
AJ Brown, and they don't. I wouldn't. I'd be like, dude, they're not. All they're running is slants. It's just going to be slant.
It just slants, dude.
Take the freaking slant and throw it over the top. I don't get it. They ran a slant every time. I'm like, what? So, I mean, the thing that hasn't been mentioned, I don't know injury-wise, I did see that Fisk strained his oblique in warm-ups for the Titans game. That'll be interesting to track this week. I think he's going to play, but will that impact him at all? And then 2, of course, classic, Dallas Goedert gets hurt every game he plays in. So he sprains his knee.
Every game, dude. Man, he's good, though.
Kyle Katerra can't block. So I was listening to the radio this morning, and they were saying that first play against the Chiefs, Kyle Katerra misses this block, Jalen fumbles the ball, and it's almost mayhem. And apparently on that play, AJ Brown did a stunt and go, and he burned the corner down the sideline. So if Goddard plays, not only is protection better, but he's better in out in the field. Kyle Katerra is booty. Straight booty. I mean, he's trash. So I mean, here's what it is. So if Goddard's out there, I think that alone makes a huge difference offensively for the Eagles. One, blocking for Saquon to get room, and for Jalen throwing the ball as a target as well. So I don't think he's set to play because, I don't know, you don't sprain your knee and just come back 2 weeks later usually. So it'll be interesting to just keep an eye on those 2 injuries.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Any others. So
there's always
looking. Yeah, go ahead.
There's always Landon Dickerson, who looks like his back is about to explode every play, and he's like you know what I mean? Like Chris Jones, he'd be like, "Oh my gosh!"
Fun fact: in the office, we were trying to blow up our TikTok, right? Which, by the way, we just got a video with like 80,000 views because of Bryson doing a weird twist thing in it, whatever. But
dude, market that man. Market that man.
Oh, we are. So I do a video on Dickerson, and I have a knee model showing the knee and showing the meniscus because he had a meniscus tear. So I do a video on it, and when I finish the video, Nate's like, "Yo, you should talk about how they shouldn't rush him back too soon." And I didn't do it because it just wasn't. It didn't work with the video we were
Hmm.
doing, and we were trying to keep the videos under a minute. But we were talking about it, and Nate's like, "Yeah, dude, what's going to happen is they're going to go in, snip out the meniscus, inject his knee, he'll feel great." But his knee's not stable, which is true because you lose some of the stability with the knee. And then what you do is you compensate at other areas of your body. And the most common thing you see in athletes, especially linemen with the way they have to block, is knee injury with something like that. It could be a sprain or a meniscus injury. They rush him back. The back is what ends up taking the toll, and they aggravate their low back, which is exactly what he did prior to week
Mm.
one against the Cowboys. And he's probably going to be dealing with that back injury. So Nate was like, yo, they should not bring him back till like week 4. They should just let that knee heal, build up the strength in the quad, build up the strength in the glute, in the hip, make it stable. Maybe he wears a brace. I don't think he's doing any of that. And I do think his back is taking a toll because of that. So just a little tidbit from the physical therapy side of
Yeah.
things.
Right.
This is what they do in the NFL. I mean, we think, oh, they got it, they had an injury, and they just, okay, they're better now. Well, that's not really how it works. Like you end up with other injuries because of it. And so the injury world gets fascinating with the NFL, and you know, it's all money makers. So they're trying to bring guys back as soon as possible.
Also, a side note is going from Mekhi Becton to Tyler Steen has been a significant downgrade so far this year. Our other 4 linemen are about the same, right? They're literally the same starting, but that's been. I mean, Jalen Hurts grabbed Tyler Steen and yelled at him. I've never seen that before. He must have been so pissed because remember last year. Yeah, remember last year Becton was the guy that remember he hits Hurts on the leg and they just snap it. So now that's Steen. So he's yelling at Steen for not doing it in time.
So as I look at the line here, now this is according to CBS Sports. 3.5. Eagles are favored. It opened at 4.5. Fun fact. So it's already been bet down. Money, the Sharks, and it's interesting to watch a line.
Sharks.
It's interesting to watch a line because when the line opens, when it moves real quick, those are usually like the whatever you want to call it. The guys who bet and they make money, they jump on that line immediately. So quick money goes on the Rams, shooting the line from 4.5 to 3.5. Do you guys think 3.5? Like if you had to throw $1,000 on this game, you going Rams 3.5, or you going getting 3.5, or are you going Eagles giving 3.5?
Is this like
you have to put $1,000 on it?
Should we go into our predictions, or are we just answering this question?
So this is going to lead into predictions, but
okay.
Like, basically we're giving predictions and we're giving a final score.
Yeah, I'd mix it up. I would take Eagles money line, or I would take Rams plus 5.5. So I would take a little bit less money for those one or two outcomes. If you had
to bet it at 3.5. I know you go on and you mix it up so that you're betting the Rams plus 5.5 at plus 250 or minus 250. Sorry, so then you're
exactly. I would not take.
You got to bet your $1,000 isn't getting you very far.
I think if I had to lean, I would probably lean Rams plus 3.5. I don't love the Eagles winning more than a field goal.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So because if we win over for a goal, I would lose the bet. So that's my take.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Corey, what do you think?
I think based off of how I've seen the Eagles play this season, I probably would take the Rams as well. I think the Eagles are still trying to find that high scoring game, but they're doing a really good job at still winning and grinding down teams and stuff like that. And they're letting teams almost stay in it, but you just kind of know the Eagles have control of those games. And I think the Eagles are perfectly content with just continuing to win by just a couple points.
Yeah, it's a really good point, actually.
Yeah.
Let's jump right into predictions and final scores, and give an idea of how you think the game ends up going as a whole. Who wants to go first?
Mike, you go first. You haven't gone first for anything.
Go for it, Mike.
I'm running the show here.
All right.
I asked you guys. You guys are the experts. I'm like the guy on the side who I honestly, you think I don't like this? I actually love doing this part.
Yeah.
Because then as you guys go, I get to think of more questions to ask, which is probably one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
You're doing it too, naturally, which is great.
Yeah. I'll let you go first, Core, unless you're not ready, I can go.
No, I'm good. Easy answer, Rams.
Go, dude.
No, I do.
He's
I'm
like
gonna go with-
Rams 48-7.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Rams are going to figure out how to beat the Eagles this time.
Let's go.
I think it's going to.
I love it.
I think there's going to be moments in the game where we're like, oh, the Eagles are going to win and dominate. We're going to see like a big run from Hurts or a couple big runs from Barkley or something, and then the Rams are just going to go what they always do. As soon as they get behind, they just go pass heavy, and then I think that's where we're going to start getting the points. You'll probably see the Rams. I would get the abandon the run pretty quick. I would not expect the Rams to just have full control over this game at all. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to stay 23-20 Rams in the end.
Wow. All right. I like it. All right, I'll
Let's
go.
go.
Ron, you go last.
All right, sounds good, dude.
I'm going to say the Rams come out. Nakua burns Adoree Jackson for an opening drive touchdown. Adoree falls down and isn't even near Nakua. That's how open Nakua is. The Eagles will match that and answer that with a Barkley breakaway touchdown. So I think it'll be a fun start to the game. I think late. Now, I didn't ask this. Dang it. Do you guys think with the tush push and everything, do you think the tush push? I got to finish my prediction. We'll ask this after we give our predictions.
Okay, yeah.
What you're answering is, do you think the tush push will get flagged in this game? Because what people are calling for is that the guards release early and the refs call a 5-yard penalty, which could be huge in this game because if the Eagles have a 4th and short late and they convert and then they call a penalty, then all of a sudden they can't go for it anymore, and that just changes the whole dynamic. I mean, late in the game. So I'm actually going to
give your prediction, and then we'll talk about that more.
Sorry. So that's why I'm saying that, because that is my prediction. I think that the Eagles will be driving late to late in the game, and they're going to have a tush push that gets called a false start on because the refs are going to be watching really closely to that. I think it's going to happen late in the game, and then that will lead to a field goal that ties it, and it'll go to overtime where the Eagles will win.
So what's your final score?
I wanted you guys to think I was going to say the Rams are going to win.
Yeah, I was
waiting. I'll say Eagles win an OT 30-27.
Right.
One, I think this is a travesty. Is that the right word? Tragedy that this game is on at 1:00.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
One.
Well, it's because the NFL schedule makers are trying to screw over the Rams by making them play at 10 a.m. again.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. And another thing, I have a tea time at 1:30 on Sunday with my brother, so I literally can't watch it. I'm gonna watch it on my phone. So I'm very bummed about that. This game should get flexed to 4. There's like Seahawks Titans or something at 4:00.
Dude, that's ridiculous. It's so stupid.
Like, what?
Well, it's because it's in Seattle. They can't play that at 1:00 game.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I was confident. I wasn't confident. If we did this podcast week 1, I was going to pick the Birds over the Cowboys. If we obviously did it week 2, I picked the Chiefs. I picked the Eagles to win in Kansas City. Yep. This one, I think it's a coin flip. I do agree with a lot of Corey's points. I think this is a perfect game for the Eagles to finally lose. It's hard for me to pull against 18-1, and I don't even remember the last time. I think our last home loss was against the Falcons last year when Barkley dropped a wide open first down. The
real question is, do you think it'll be closely? Because if it is, the Eagles pull those games out. If it's not, then Rams take it.
Yeah, Eagles. If it's a close game, I don't see how we end up losing. Just based on our track record, I'm picking the Eagles, but I'm picking them solely on the home field advantage. I think if this was in LA, I would be convinced that the Rams would win. I think
there would be more Eagles fans at that game in LA.
There would be. Yeah, it would be another home game.
Yeah. So usually they say when you're a home team, you get about 3 points. So if that's the case in this scenario, it's literally a pick 'em.
Yeah, they're saying half a point.
It's literally a pick 'em. So it's even money on both sides, more or less. I kind of agree with Mike. I think if the Rams can make tough contested catches against us, which they have the talent to do that, they can win this game. I think that's their if Puka's, making these like the catch Puka made in the playoffs against us on the
Oh my
sideline.
word.
If
Incredible.
Puka makes 2 or 3 of those along with Devontae Adams, they're going to win this game. I just think that the Eagles are too talented of a roster to lose this game at home. But
Yep.
I do think it could go either way. My final score, similar to Corey, but I think it's a little bit more high scoring. 27-24. Also, it's the first 2 weeks, right? The Cowboys scored 21 straight points in the first game. The Eagles matched them instantly. The Cowboys stopped scoring, the Eagles stopped scoring. The Chiefs scored, the Eagles matched them. It seems like whatever the team against the Eagles does, the Eagles can match that, whether that's scoring points or not scoring and punting. Like it's so weird to describe. So if the Rams do get hot, I do think the Eagles can combat them. But I do think it's a coin flip. I think this actually being a day game is better for the Rams. I know with the whole 10 a.m. thing, I just think the Eagles are going to be less hyped and less energetic for a 1 o'clock game, if that makes sense, than like a 4 o'clock or a night game. Like those games are extremely hard to win at the length because of the build up and the production. But 1 o'clock games, I just feel like Mike, we were at the Carolina game last year where they almost lost, and like Carolina was horrible. It's just like
the Browns game, they look terrible.
Yeah. So these 1 o'clock games, I think that adds into the Rams' favor, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I actually agree with you in the sense that I think if the Rams win, I think they actually win by more like 2 scores. I think they win by like 10. Yeah. If it's close, I see a game where the Eagles win by 3 or something like that. So, and I can see the Rams winning by 10. Just they torch Adoree a couple times, and
honestly,
they get to Jalen. So
I'm so happy that we each picked our own team.
Yep.
Come on, that's how it needs to be. Okay, so next week, this will be good. This will be good coverage. So I mean, unless you guys have anything else, I know we're in the last little bit here. We're going to wrap it up there. I don't any last second comments you guys want to make. We have 1 minute.
Last second, I'll say the Rams will win because of penalties on the tush push, and the Eagles aren't able to run it.
Very good
point. So you agree with me on the penalty on the tush push? I think that's going to be interesting because I think the NFL is going to keep their eye on that, and I could see a false start getting called on it.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to be so much drama.
It's going to be great,
dude. Especially if it's late in the game. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
All
right, boys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Great doing it again. We'll do it next week. Go Birds.
Go Birds, Core.
Horns up.
That wraps up this week's episode of Coast to Coast Sports. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and share the show with a fellow football fan. From Philly to LA and around the league, we'll be back next week with more sports talk.